T-E-R-B-U-F-O-S, Tebufos. All the 6 children died of Tebufos ingestion. In the past weeks, several chemicals were bandied around as possible causes of death. Some were even found in some retailers. In order to avoid confusion, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to mention each one of these chemicals and explain their significance. But before I do that, I need to explain that apart from organophosphate, another group of chemicals used as pesticides are called carbamates. There's a slight difference between carbamates and organophosphate. As I said, they are both used as pesticides. But one major difference is that organophosphate is much more lethal and can cause irreversible damage. Sometimes last week, there was a statement that indicated carbamates as the cause of death. This was from post-mortem observations, just observations. But toxicology has proven that the actual cause of death is organophosphate and not carbamate, as it might have been initially thought. On Friday, the 25th of October, 2024, we had informed you that 4 people were arrested at the Johannesburg Mall because they were found trading in a chemical called Aldicap. 1,450 grams of this chemical was confiscated by police. Now, what led to the arrest of these 4 people was that during the operations in Naledi, some of the spaza shop owners confessed that these 4 are the people, these people in the mall, in the Johannesburg Mall, are the people who are selling them illegal chemicals. That's why part of the team went there, and in fact, they found this Aldicap. Aldicap falls in the class of, it's one of the carbamates. I've mentioned that we have got organophosphate and carbamates, and organophosphate were responsible for the death, but Aldicap was found being sold. It is a carbamate, as we have already stated. It is not the cause of death in these particular cases. If it has caused death before, we are not yet aware of that, but it wasn't. But still, it remains illegal to be sold to the public because it is also a dangerous substance. At the present moment, samples that were taken via swabs in the various spaza shops in Soweto have been sent to the National Health Laboratory Services, and we are still waiting for the results. This means that while organophosphate was found in the bodies of these children, we are still waiting to see if the organophosphate was also found in the spaza shops so that we can scientifically link the events. It is also important to mention that police did find a packet of chips in the pocket of one of the children who demised. This was also sent for analysis, and the results were out, and they were found to be negative. That means this substance, organophosphate, which killed the children, was not able to be detected on the packet of chips that was found in the pockets of one of the children. Now, let's try to analyze the present situation that we are faced with. When we mentioned that we are sending teams to search for signs of chemicals in these spaza shops, some people on social media were very skeptical because they reasoned, and I think as ordinary people it's understandable, they reasoned that if indeed there are chemicals in the spaza shops that affected and even killed some of these children, why would spaza shop owners not equally be affected? Because they should also be exposed to the same substance. It is very important to explain this. It is known medically that children are more susceptible to pesticide toxicity and other environmental toxicants than adults. This is due to several factors which are mostly physiological. The first one is body mass. Children have a smaller body mass than adults, and therefore, a given dose of pesticides can have more severe impact on a child because of the smaller body size. Number two, developing organs. Children's organs are still developing, making them more vulnerable to the effects of pesticides because they are not able to handle them. Excuse me. Number three is the route of exposure. Children are affected by acute pesticide poisoning and chronic effects of exposure through ingestion, inhalation, and dermal contact. You're also aware of behavioral patterns of children. I'm sorry, before even coming to the root. The behavioral pattern of children is different from adults. We all know we have got children. One of their well-known behaviors is hand to mouth and hand to object. Adults don't usually do that. Children do that quite often whenever they've touched things, and this exposes them more than adults. And as I said, the route of exposure can be ingestion, inhalation, or dermal contact. That organophosphate can even enter your body through contact with your skin, and hence can affect you even from contaminated clothing. In other words, this organophosphate doesn't have to be in your mouth or inhalation to affect you. It can even go directly through your skin if you are in contact with it. So which means contaminated clothing can also affect people. But it has been reported by the World Health Organization that in children, the most commonest route is ingestion of this organophosphate.